Hey everyone, it's a Veteran Aegis here, and in this video I'm going to take you through my Stormfoe run of Veteran Icereach. That is the hard mode, speed run, and no death all in one. In this video I am featuring my Omni Aegis build, also known as the Make Everyone a Tank tank. If you want to know more about the Omni Aegis build, check out the Omni Aegis build video that I have posted. You can learn about the build, why it's useful, where it's useful, and how to modify it depending on the specific fight that you are in. Since part of this achievement is getting a no death, I will highlight the things about this first boss that are important to be aware of to achieve that no death. First, someone's going to be targeted with a wind. They'll get a little circle underneath their feet. They just need to kite that wind around and not through people. Second, Kajarg does this ground smash move and this other sweeping move that you just saw where he sends out ice AoEs. They apply a pretty nasty ice dot on people, so pretty much they just need to avoid that. The ice dot is purgeable, so no big deal if someone is running purge to remove that dot from everybody. As the tank, he will enrage. He'll kind of rear up and scream. When he does that, you just need to get away from him. If you get away from him, it's fine, you can just kite him around. Finally, after he finishes that enrage phase, there's going to be a little ice atronach that starts forming. You need to bring Kajarg over to that dude and let him do that AoE ground smash, and it gets rid of that. If you don't get rid of it, that ice atro does a lot of damage. It's a big AoE damage that he does, and it hits everybody, so it's important to smash it. If you don't, at least if you're running the Make Everyone a Tank build, it is survivable. There is actually a separate achievement where you need to have 3 of them up at the end that we have gotten, so you can have some up and survive. It just, I wouldn't recommend it for the triple threat achievement here. So anyway, that's that first fight. Now we can sit back and relax and enjoy the 5 times speed sounds that makes everyone sound like a mouse until we get to the next boss fight. Just like on the first boss, there are a couple of mechanics to be aware of on the second boss in order to successfully complete the no death. If you have high enough DPS, you can actually ignore all the mechanics, as you often can, and still get the no death. But here, I do want to point this out because why leave any room for error? So first, somebody's going to get a little flame circle around them. They do not want to kite that into somebody. The flame dot doesn't really hurt the person that is hitting very much, but if it is walked through one of your allies, it does hurt quite a lot, and I've seen that ruin no death runs before. The real purpose of that fire is there will be ice stranglers that appear on the map at random at different time intervals or different health intervals. I'm not sure which, but anyway, those ice stranglers do a lot of damage unless you break their shield. So if you get rid of their ice, essentially if you melt their ice, they pretty much become useless and do very little damage. So as the tank, I like to go around and taunt them if possible. If not, we need to get to them very quickly and put out their ice with that fire that's on us. Just like the first boss, Skelga is going to do quite a bit of ice damage. That is a damage over time. So again, that damage over time, it can be purged off or it can be healed through. Again, avoid those little ice circles that she puts out at various times because they do hurt. And if you purge them, they do send out little ice balls that hit the rest of the group. But that's pretty much the mechanics you need to be aware of for that fight. One thing that's very convenient about the Stormfoe achievement is that the speedrun component of it is very lax. It's 30 minutes, which is more than enough time to complete all the bosses and the hard mode, really without any problems or difficulty at all. Next up, we have Virg, for lack of a better way to pronounce that. Virg does a couple of things to look out for to maintain the no death. First, he does a very strong heavy attack that you need to block. Honestly, I just recommend perma-blocking this fight, as you really shouldn't have a problem with resources if your DPS are worth a grain of salt. He also does a lot of damage over time. He will do lightning, he'll do flame damage over time, avoid the fire. As far as your allies go, he does attach thralls to people. The thralls are essentially going to apply a heal debuff, so it'll make it a lot harder to heal them. The thrall can also be killed. So if somebody gets the thrall, it can be killed, so that heal debuff goes away. Next, we just saw it, he puts out wraiths on those little things, those little circles there. The wraiths, if they have very little health, they can be burned down very quickly. If you don't kill the wraiths quickly, they do spawn adds. There is an achievement for not killing any wraiths, which is actually pretty easy to do if your DPS is fairly good, but I don't recommend going for it during the Trifecta. And then last, you see those fire whirlwinds that bounce around the room. Everybody needs to avoid those. They hit hard, they apply a dot, so if your group just avoids those, then you really shouldn't have trouble during this fight either. That's pretty much it for the mechanics to look out for here. In the ad pools after Virg, they introduce a new enemy called a Stormweaver. The Stormweavers hit pretty hard. They are the priority target, and they do big circle AoEs that can one-shot people. So I would definitely recommend looking out for those Stormweavers. There should be one in this ad pool that's on super speed, and then there'll be two in the ad pool right after it, right here. So Tank can take those, bring them a little bit away, and then they can be ranged down. The fourth boss here is the Stormborn Revenant. Just like the previous bosses, there are a couple of mechanics to look out for to avoid someone dying. The first, as the tank, he does a very strong heavy attack. I actually will take one to the face a little bit later on in this fight and almost die. I'm glad I didn't. I had very little health left. He also does a stun where he hits everyone with ice, and people need to roll dodge to get out of that stun. Very important that they do that. And then he's going to do another move where he gets ready to jump in the air. You wait about a second, and then everyone roll dodges. That's also going to put out some adds. You see I roll dodged too early there and got knocked back, which is okay because I'm a tank, but other people that hurts a lot. When the adds come out, they should die pretty readily. They don't do a whole lot as long as you kill them. There's that heavy attack. I had 5k health left, so that was close. He's also going to do a move where he puts out Storm Atronauts along the outside. Usually it's accompanied by a jump, and then the Storm Atros show up. There is an achievement for killing the three Storm Atros back to back to back. If each of them die within 3 seconds of the previous one dying, then you get the achievement. Most people get that by accident. But anyway, when the Storm Atros come up, it's important to kill them, as it looks like they do some kind of empower on the boss in the center. So again, your DPS should focus down those Storm Atros when they come up. Once you get to the end of the fight, he just stands there in the middle, and you execute him pretty rapidly. I imagine that this is kind of a preview of what happens on the final fights in the execute, where you just take a lot of damage over the time. Last thing is the DPS. They should keep moving the entire fight because he does put out a lot of lightning damage. Last up, we have the hard mode, and of course we have to do it in a reasonable amount of time, of which we have plenty, and also not die during it. This hard mode is a very controlled burn, so as long as you control the pace of the fight and everybody does their job, it's really not too bad. Learning it was a big pain, but once we learned it, the actual fight itself isn't too difficult. I'm not going to talk about mechanics extensively here. For a full guide on how to tank Icereach hard mode, check out my How to Tank Icereach hard mode video. I will talk about what can kill you here and ruin your trifecta, though. So there's 4 sisters. The first sister comes with a giant, much like the first boss. It will enrage. It's your DPS's job to burn him down as quickly as possible. When he's enraged, he will one-shot you as the tank, even with a light attack through a block. So it's important he go down quickly and you kite him around when he's enraged. Every sister also has a heavy attack. The heavy attack won't kill you as a tank, but it will hit you for a lot of damage if you're not blocking. If you lose aggro and somebody else takes a heavy attack, they will die, so it's very important that the tank does not lose aggro on any of the sisters when they are up. We are controlling this fight a lot. You see we're not attacking Gola. What we're doing is we're building ultimate. It's crucial in this fight that everybody builds ultimate, and there's any number of ways to do it. You can attack any of the sisters with shields, you can attack the thralls, whatever. It's very important that everyone has their ultimate pretty much before any sister's killed, because there are mechanics that you want to have your ultimate for when you do in fact kill a sister. Other things to look out for, you do have the tornado going around, there's lightning damage that goes around, so everyone should keep moving and keep their distance from each other, and then you have the flame. After the first sister goes down, the healer should pop a barrier, the tank should taunt the 2 ice stranglers that pop up randomly on the map, as well as taunt the sister. Whoever gets the flame AoE on them needs to go burn down those stranglers as quickly as possible, breaking their ice shield, just like the second boss. That's important because those stranglers do a ton of damage. We pop that barrier right away in order to prevent anybody from getting hit by one of them while the tank is trying to pick them all up. We didn't need to worry about saving an ultimate after or before killing the second witch, because the third one doesn't really need an ulti dump. So you actually can burn down that second sister as quick as possible, which I do recommend doing, because if you leave her up, you get more ice stranglers and they'll pop up randomly, the tank won't catch them, and people will get hit by the ice stranglers and die. So again, we want to burn her down, we want to drop all ults on that second sister right away, while we're doing the mechanic of burning down the ice stranglers. So again, tank doesn't lose aggro on the sister, and picks up aggro on the 2 ice stranglers, and then they're burned down by whoever is on fire. The third sister will summon the wraiths. Again, here, we just want to control the fight. Anytime the wraiths pop up, we kill the wraiths. The tank maintains aggro on the third sister, Bonnie, and doesn't lose aggro, and again, it's just the heavy attacks to look out for, so again, something that absorbs missiles is going to be very useful here, whether you use the skill absorb missile or a class ability, whatever you want to do. We do want to build ultimates again on Bonnie before we push. As soon as the 4th sister comes up, we do get this Icereach warrior with just over 1,000,000 health. We're going to ulti dump that Icereach warrior. He hits really hard. He puts out the ice that stuns everybody. His heavy attack does a ton of damage. And it's just all around bad if he stays up too long. It's really, really difficult on the tank, because this guy does quite a bit of damage and takes up a lot of your stamina and resources. So he goes down, and then after that, guess what we're going to do? We're going to build ultimate again. So everyone's going to build ultimate, because after we kill the 4th sister, what happens? Everyone needs to bash one of the sisters, so we assign a sister for everybody in the group, and they go bash, because if you don't bash them in time, everyone dies. So everyone gets a bash, and then the sisters are all going to reset, and they're going to go in a random order the second time through. So we're going to build ultimate because we don't know which sister is going to come up the second time through. So anyway, right here you can just see us building ultimate. Now we're ready. You see that all 4 of us need to get bashes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 4, and you can see we have the second one. So again, same thing happens. We pop a barrier. The tank picks up both the ice stranglers and Hitty. Everybody else drops their ultimates on Hitty. And then when someone's on fire, they break the ice on the stranglers to render them essentially useless. And then we kill Hitty as quickly as possible. Hitty is the only witch that we want to kill without building ultimate back up, because we don't want to get more ice stranglers. So anyway, we're going to get our bashes again because she went down, and we see that we have the 4th witch. So now we haven't built ultimate, so this Icereach warrior is going to stay up a little longer than I would like him to. I didn't use my ultimate on the last one, so I'm actually going to pop my ultimate that gives me major protection, because I don't want to take much damage and ruin this run. So anyway, we are slowly getting down that Icereach warrior, and I'm doing my best to not die. The Icereach Warrior is a lot like the 4th boss in terms of what he does. Heavy attack, strong, he jumps in the air, needs to be roll dodge, he puts out the ice that you need to roll dodge from. So he's pretty much a replica of the 4th boss, just with not as much health. So he goes down, so now we actually have time to build our ultimates again before we kill the 4th witch the 2nd time, Sister Mayfin. So we're going to build up our ultimates one more time. And it looks like everyone's ready, so she's going to go down. We're all going to get our respective bashes, and we're going to look around and see who we get. Okay, so we're going to get the 3rd witch. So we do not need to ulti dump the 3rd witch. What we typically do is we burn her to about 30 or 20%. Then we wait for the next phase of wraiths. We kill the wraiths, and then we kill her. The worst thing that can happen is we're killing her and then wraiths come up, and now we have to worry about 2 mechanics on the final witch, because we definitely don't want wraiths and another mechanic going on at the same time. So again, we can control this. We kill the wraiths, we get back on her. As soon as we get to maybe 30% or 20%, we just wait and kill the new wraiths, and then as soon as they die, we finish her off. Alright, this is our last Wraith phase here. You can see that Bonnie's right around 18% and her health is slowly going down, probably from any lingering dots that are on her. So we're killing these Wraiths. Everyone should have their ultimate up because we took this very slowly and we didn't need to drop ultimates on her. So we're going to now finish off any of the thralls that are on us, so we don't have any extra mechanics to worry about so much, or fewer mechanics to worry about. Finish her off, and we're going to get our bashes, and now we know, because it's random, we've already killed 3 of them, it's going to be the very first one, and we're going to get a giant. So I'm actually going to pull the giant off of her as soon as I can, because what we don't want, since we're going to ulti dump the giant, we don't accidentally want to kill her and have the giant up at the same time. We want to kill the giant and then kill her, because we do not want a giant roaming around during execute, because that would be really bad. So I pulled him off. He got enraged. I'm going to run around and kite him around. That way he can't one-shot me. Meanwhile, I'm going to maintain aggro on the first witch. That way she doesn't one-shot anybody else with heavy attack. All the DPS are moving around because there's lots of things going on here. So they keep moving so they don't die from lightning, wind, fire, whatever, and they stay separated. Once again, I'm going to plug my build, the Omni Aegis build, because it really helps mitigate a ton of that damage by making everybody a tank. So if you want to learn more about that, check out my Omni Aegis or Make Everyone a Tank build video. Alright, so that giant has gone down, and what we're going to do now is, you guessed it, we're going to build ultimate. What we really want is everyone to have a full ultimate bar, because this execute is pretty much a matter of killing the center boss as soon as we possibly can, because we only are able to take 3 or 4 hits from her before everybody wipes. So as soon as everybody has their ultimate, we have the green light to kill Gola. And once we kill Gola, we go straight to the center, we ulti dump. We of course keep going with any mechanics that are going, so we need to make sure we take care of the fire, dot, or kite the wind away. But anyway, it's pretty quick, that execute, as long as we have ultimates. So there you go. That is the entire Stormfoe run. You can see the achievement pop up. This is my first time through on my Warden, so that's pretty cool that I was able to get footage of it as we did it. And for AB times 23 and Broken Valor, it is their first Stormfoe on any character.